Hello and welcome to ASB TDC TV, a product of the University of Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center. In this series, we're talking with small businesses, experts, and ASB TDC consultants with the relevant and right now topics and solutions for small business. I am Amy Robinson.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Case, and we are here with four very lovely ladies. And Chris, I'm going to actually pass it over to you to introduce who you're with and who's on this call with us right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Chris May. We have Alice Honey, Jessica Medford, and Elisa May as NWA Metro Group.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you guys do, and we'll kind of jump into how this whole last several months has kind of played out for you guys. But tell us a little bit about what you guys do and what you did beforehand and kind of how you transitioned.
Yes, it is totally different. We do things virtually, as in Zoom meetings. We meet with our clients, masks, sanitizers, booties for our shoes when we go into listings. We don't ride in cars together. And I truly believe a lot of communication is lost at that time. So you have to find another time to really have those conversations that you would have had in the car ride to and from different listings. And Jessica, if you want to say anything else about that, I think you probably have some different experiences as well.
I would agree. I do think it's taken away a little bit of the personal relationship that you have. That's my favorite part. You get to know a lot about a client when you ride in a car together. Even just the conversation between a husband and a wife. You learn a lot about them as people and what their I guess biggest compromises could be as far as looking for a new home. And so I have lost that a little bit. I miss that. But definitely go in first as far as showings. Make sure all the lights are on, sanitize everyone before they come in. Everyone's dressed differently. Everyone wears a mask. It looks a lot different these days.
It definitely does. And Alice, if you wanted to share with you your experiences in that as well.
I think one of the things that's very different is that we have actually been selling homes on virtual tours and through FaceTime with some of our clients if they're out of town or they can't make it into town, because the market is so fast right now that if you can't be here today or tomorrow when something goes on the market today, you're going to lose out. So we do a lot of video tours and FaceTimes with buyers so they have an opportunity to see a property before it's off market. And that's happening a lot. Our market has just been phenomenal this year during COVID, which I think surprised a lot of us. I think when we all kind of shut down and went home and the second week of March for our office, I think we thought it was really going to slow down. Well, it's never slowed down, and it has been a really good year for real estate in Northwest Arkansas. So really
is one of the top places to live. So you all are in a great market. And so when people are looking for new places to go and healthy places to be, and where the job market is maybe stronger, I think that this is definitely one of those places. So when you're talking about those virtual tours and things like that, so tell us a little bit about, what that adds to your job. Are you doing the virtual tour recording? Are you hiring people? Like I know that there are just entire markets that have opened up to some of these adaptations for COVID, and so Zoom for one of them.
Right.
So entire markets and new technologies and new ways of doing things have opened up. How does that add to your workload? What does that look and feel like? And what were some of those like quick adaptations and learnings that you had to do in order to change things up?
Yes. Well, we have a fantastic marketing department at Coldwell Banker. I mean, they have been on it since the day we left the office, and they have given us great tools in which to stay in touch with our clients and make these changes. I know, Elisa, you've done some tours with people through virtual tours. Can you talk about that a little bit? You've probably done more than I have.
Yeah. So one thing I never thought I would actually keep in my car, I have kind of like my real estate kit, and I never thought I would need a stabilizer for when I'm recording. But one thing that I do, I mean, it's pretty simple. I have an iPhone. I put my phone on the little stabilizer and do a video walkthrough in the house. And I give my clients the option. I'm like, hey, do you want me to send you videos, or do you want to do it via FaceTime? One of the benefits of doing it through videos is, and I think this is even a better opportunity than whenever they're seeing it in person, is because they can go back and look at the videos and say like, oh, well, was that the house with the navy cabinets, or was it the one with the white cabinets? And they can kind of go through and relook at the house at any time that they want, which I think is kind of a nice perk whenever they do the videos. And then on top of that, I think one of the benefits of the video tour or the virtual tours is, even if they're like, say they have 3 or 4 houses that they're interested in, they've looked at pictures online, they've read the description, it kind of gives them a chance to not be so risky, like going out in public. So they can say, oh, well, you go do the virtual tour for these 4 houses, and then we'll narrow it down to the 2 that we actually want to get out and see. And so I think that kind of helps limit their exposure to being outside and going into strangers' homes and all that kind of fun stuff. But
One of the,
And I think that's a good point, because all these businesses are pivoting a little bit, and none of us thought that we would pivot the way we are into the new world that we're living in. But you guys are all doing that. Chris, I'd love for you to talk about what's going to stay around for you. I mean, it sounds like some of this is really helping the client in the long run, but what will you guys keep around?
You know, I think it's going to be individual for all 4 of us, and for every agent out there. I really prefer a more one-on-one with people. And so to take them in my car, I really want to get back to that. I have clients coming in today from out of state, and early on in March, the state was closed down, that hotels wouldn't even let people come and stay. So they have allowed, the state has allowed people back in hotels. When they did come in April and May, they had to bring letters stating that they were house hunting to move to the area just to be able to stay in those hotels. And then to get them back in our cars, that is key. And I don't know how we're going to get back to that. Definitely mask, and I think masks are ongoing. Virtual, like Elisa said, she did videos. I did a lot of FaceTime. And I think people will want that more. I think that will stay. But it will be in addition to the regular online searches. And then we're adding another layer of service to do that FaceTime. And then when they do come, they have 5 to 10 houses to look at. And then we go and look at those houses, whether it be in a car together or car separately.
yeah, I can definitely see a lot of benefits. I know that, even in a lot of the work that we do in client meetings and things like that, there's efficiencies when, you can just go from one to the other. I had a personal experience where a friend of mine messaged and sent me several virtual tours of homes. It was like, what do you think? Well, you don't get to do that with, when you're walking around on your own. And so having other opinions, if you want them, your mother-in-law, maybe not, but that is, that is definitely one of the benefits. But to your point, there is a little bit of a loss of connection that, Jessica, you had mentioned that. So what will the rest of you keep when it comes to some of these things that what are the keepers from COVID? I don't know that we really want to say that.
That's not a good tagline. Keepers. Jessica, what do you think?
Definitely. Oh, go ahead.
Who's speaking? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think I will be at home more, working from home more. And I never thought that. I've always had an office at the office, and my home was separate. But I have discovered I'm very productive at home, and I always had a fear that I wouldn't be productive at home. But once I got my whole office set up at home with a really good printer and everything I needed to function, I actually am more productive at home. So as much as I hate not seeing our team together because we worked in the same office together, we're just going to have to do more lunches and see each other.
Well, you guys, let's quickly, I want to touch on commercial before we wrap this up too, because I think that's something that's in you guys' wheelhouse and how you're kind of transitioning in some of the ideas, Elisa, you had earlier that I want you to share that I think might not come to the top of mind of individuals out there.
Right. So commercial, unfortunately, has taken quite a bit with COVID. I mean, especially in the spring, whenever the university sent students home, that was a lot of empty apartments. So investors that I had been working with kind of put their purchases on hold if they were looking at apartment buildings or multifamily buildings. And then obviously offices are hurting because people aren't working in the office, they're working from home. But one opportunity I think is not everybody thrives working from home. So kind of converting those office spaces into a community working space, kind of like a WeWork, or in Fayetteville, we have a local place called Likewise. And I'm sure they're doing very well with their space where people who could take a break maybe once a week or a couple times a week going into an office space where they feel safe. I think that might be a smart direction, or maybe an option for people.
Love that. And there is a WeWork in Northwest Arkansas now. It's up in Bentonville, WeWork Labs. So it's not as co-working, it's more program based, but it's definitely awesome. Right. And those, because you're right, not everybody does work from home very well. Some people are good at, getting up and going, throwing in a load of laundry, and that's great. Other people, it's the squirrel effect. We get way too distracted by all the things we could be doing at home. So that's a great point. So what do you all feel like, where do you think what is trending? So let's skip over 2020 altogether. What does 2021 look like, which we all want to know and we all want to think about because we're all over 2020.
Jessica, what do you think about that?
Well, I think, it's great. It's been great for the market. And in Northwest Arkansas, probably anybody under that $250,000 range already, is competing. But I would say as far as COVID and the inventory being, less than half than it normally is at this time of year, those buyers can't even get to see the homes. So I hope that 2021 helps probably people that don't have to list, but they could, but they're afraid to because of COVID. I hope that the inventory increases and that I can get my buyers in there at least to see the home before it goes under contract.
Right.
Yeah. There's such a supply and demand that I hope that becomes more balanced because there is such a gap there that would be crucial for that to be more balanced for a healthy economy. And our economy is just gone. Our sales are just going up. Coldwell Banker had record years over the last 6 years. NWA Metro Group has had record years. We've all individually had record years. So we're not complaining. We're very blessed. We're excited. We're ready for 2021. But I really hope that we get more balanced in that inventory and demand.
I think that's absolutely all of our hope for 2021. I think that balance is what we all hope for that entire year across all markets. Well, we want to make sure that everybody knows how to get in touch with you. Here's a little bit up on the screen about how to get in touch with us, but how do we find you? Are you on social media? Are we emailing you? How do we find your group?
So the best in touch with us is social media. We have our Facebook page. It's NWA Metro Group, Realtors with Coldwell Banker, Harris, McHaney, and Faucette, if you can remember all that. And then our Instagram handle is at NWA Metro Group. And we also have our website, nwametrogroup.com. And feel free to email us, info@nwametrogroup.com. And we can also share cell phone numbers or email addresses if everybody wants to do that.
Fantastic. Well, I think that everybody can get a hold of you, and I love that you have an Instagram. That I found that in the real estate market to be very, very effective. So we'll definitely be following you. So thank you all for joining us. And if you're watching or listening, thank you for joining us. If you have a suggested topic, a question that you need answered, or someone you'd like to hear from, or a story you'd like to share, please contact us at sbdc@uark.edu and put TV in the subject line. If you're interested in benefiting from our free one-on-one consulting assistance, please sign up at sbtdc@uark.edu. Thank you all again for being here. We love seeing you. Appreciate your time. Great team.
Yep.
Thanks for having
ladies.
us.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.